Good to see you, man.
Yeah, you
I'm
too.
gonna get to see Jarvis today too.
Trust. Yeah, he's
My
sparring
guy's
right now.
full on boxer now.
Trust. Hopefully he's not bruised up when he's in here. He's literally fighting someone at the moment.
Yeah, he's like little. I remember him as a little kid in your videos.
Yeah.
People don't realize, Jarvis was on your channel. Like I was looking yesterday, over 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like people thought he just popped up at Fortnite, but no.
No.
You were making the little brother content like way back then.
Yeah, way back. No, we loved it because we'd always click when making videos. So,
Yeah.
and whenever I was filming videos for ages, I put Jarvis in it. It gets 3 times the amount of views, and I have 3 times as much enjoyment. So I was like, all right, let's just do that forever.
That's one thing I've always known about you is that you're very family oriented, right? You're like a family guy.
Yeah, absolutely.
And friends. Me and you, I think, are both similar that way. We both have core groups of friends that we grew up with.
Like school, yeah.
I think I met your friends when we went to Gfinity.
You definitely met a lot of
I think the first time when we went to Gfinity, right?
You've met a good amount.
I've met all your friends. Tico, too. I've met a lot of Tico's friends.
Yeah, trust.
Yeah.
Trust.
And, that's something for me. I know, like, my group of friends always kept me, like,
yeah, it's very
sane and grounded, whatever the words are. Like, I needed them. Yeah.
Grounded, yeah. Like, when you get too big for your boots sometimes when you're a kid.
Yeah.
And they like slap you. Like, what are you doing, Frazier?
They don't care about they don't care about Phase K, or they don't care about anything you're doing. They just care about Frazier. It's very important. So I know you've always had that, and you're very family oriented. So even what you're saying about Jarvis, like, I know for you as one of your friends, I know that you enjoyed making content with Jarvis more than you do it by yourself. Not just because of views, like you said, but you also like the enjoyment. So can you give a background of your family, your parents, like where you come from?
Yeah.
And I know you spoke also about that in the last few years a little bit. So can you give kind of a breakdown of that in your childhood?
Absolutely. So my dad is from Nepal. He was in like the Gurkha Rifles growing up. Like that come from a very army side of my family. Like his dad and dad was all in the army, like generals and stuff. So it's a pretty intense guy.
What does that mean, Gurkha Rifles? Sorry.
The Gurkha Rifles is like a regiment. So the Gurkhas are the Nepalese army. It's the only army that's fought alongside the British army for like 2 centuries now.
Okay.
So the Gurkhas are stationed a lot in the United Kingdom, which is again why my dad was able to come to the UK.
Okay.
Because they give them visas and stuff. And my mum was born in Canada, but technically is Scottish. So I'm like half Nepalese, half Scottish, which is crazy. I did like that DNA test.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. That's why I like Scotch so much, I think. Like, but,
you just told me you're going there, right? Scotland?
Yeah, going there with Scissors and Kaz. So
how sick is that?
Trust.
The LA Face House era, Scissors and Kaz both live there.
Big golf trip to St. Andrews, which is going to be cool.
That's cool.
But yeah, no, grew up with mainly with my mother. They separated when I was younger.
Okay.
My mum, Jarvis, and my brother Chandler. We grew up luckily in a really, really nice area of England. My mum ran a hair salon growing up. Always made sure to pick us up from school, take us to school, fit all the mum stuff in, but then grinded really hard. That's where we got our work ethic from, absolutely, just from seeing her grow up like that. But yeah, no, she made sure that we obviously like bonded together. That's why, me, Jarvis, trying to like join at the hip almost, like Jordan was saying yesterday, which I like. I wouldn't want to do anything without my brothers.
Yeah.
I see them as like my best friends as well, so it's really cool. Started doing gaming. Jarvis was never really interested in it, but he was always good.
Yeah.
I remember like back when we used HD PVRs, I was like, bro, I'm gonna get you one. He was like, nah. He was like a bad kid in school.
He was, huh?
Yeah. And then I moved when I moved to LA, that's when he kind of was like, all right, like I kind of want to do it for sure.
Okay. So you grew up your whole life in the UK?
Yeah, my whole life. I grew up a lot in England. We had a house in Scotland. I'd spend like 3-4 months out of the year.
And how far is that?
That was about 10-hour drive, so it's cool. It's in a place called Perth in Scotland, the Highlands, like the middle of nowhere. It's why I really like camping and surviving and fishing and hunting and stuff like that.
Okay, so you did it growing up.
Yeah, like my favorite thing to do would just be like let my mum go out with my cousin with like a tent, can of beans, and try and survive.
Really?
Like, the fishing rod and stuff. Yeah.
You guys used to do that?
Yeah.
Really?
It's like my favorite thing to do. Like when I'm old, I'm probably just gonna make like outdoor boys type content.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no way! Because I've seen you post a lot, like in the last few years, fishing and doing stuff like that. But I didn't realize you used to do that. You guys went to Nepal recently, right?
No. I've only been there when I was 1 year old, but I really want to go back.
Because I feel like you guys like only not recently, but I didn't really hear you talk about it until maybe the last 5 years.
Yeah, exactly.
And you guys started like you talk about that you're from Nepal and it's like a warrior. It's like it seems like a warrior lineage. Yeah,
exactly. Like my dad is a very private guy, so like he doesn't like me saying a lot of stuff.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
okay. So I've never even like my whole time knowing you, I've only really known anything about your mom. even as one of your friends, I guess.
No, I mean, that's why, when I was a kid, I was, before I was a YouTuber, I applied to work at MI6.
What is that?
It's like, like where James Bond works. Like
Oh,
Secret
really?
Service.
Oh, Secret Service
Like
in the
inspired
UK.
by my dad to like do that. He would like help me sign up, but there's certain requirements basically that I was like, oh, that's like a killer. Like I really don't want to do that.
I could see you as a Secret Service agent.
Yeah, like I really wanted to do that stuff.
I know that when Jarvis started boxing, you guys were like, it's in our blood, you know what I mean? And when you were doing, everyone knows. Anyone who's been watching for a while knows how strong Kay is too. You're the only one that used to beat me in the lifting videos.
We actually watched that on my stream not too long ago.
Really? Yeah. Those are fun.
Those are good times.
Okay, so you've been. So you want to go to Nepal soon?
Yeah,
you
definitely.
can go, right? Can you visit, or is it hard to visit?
Yeah, you can visit.
Okay.
Like when it's not monsoon season, I think like October is the best time to go. But no, I definitely like to go with my dad because I've got a grandmother out there, and again, I don't speak to my dad too often, but I know I've got at least like 2 uncles and auntie and however many cousins out there I've never seen.
Damn, that'd be cool. So you want to go meet them?
Yeah, I need to see them for the first time.
Yeah, I didn't visit Palestine until I was like 21.
Wow.
I went when I was like 3 as well the last time.
Yeah.
When I went, it was just like...
So your first time seeing them?
Yeah, like a lot of my cousins and stuff.
Wow.
A lot of their kids and like, my grandparents unfortunately passed away when I was young. I have pictures with them when I was 3, but when I went, I was like, dude, why have I not come?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, my family... I have a family of 6.
Yeah.
So it was kind of, it was expensive to fly everyone out there across the country.
Yeah.
So like, there was no way when we're growing up. But when I got, 21, after YouTube making my own money, I told my parents, I'm like, we got to go.
That's cool.
Like since then I've gone, 3, 4, 5 times and I
really?
want to go every year.
Nice.
I feel like you're going to want to do the same thing when you go to Nepal.
Yeah. No, mate, seriously, because it's like where we're from. Obviously, I want to go to like base camp, the greenery. I've got my uncle as well that has like a whole thing going on out there. So there's a lot of people I need to see.
That's cool. You got to do it. You got to take Jarvis. I feel like Jarvis would love it too, huh?
Yeah, like a hiking trip or something.
Yeah. So you said your mom was a very hard worker. She owned her own business.
Yeah.
So were you guys pretty like well off?
My grandfather on my mum's side had a pretty successful business when before he passed away really young, and didn't set the family up in anywhere near like that. But we had a good base for sure. He had like 3 daughters and a son. My mum was set up pretty nicely, but then obviously, it wouldn't have been anything without her hard work. She had a salon in my town with like 30 employees and stuff, which is like a lot just for in a small town. It was interesting growing up. I learned a lot about the hair salon business just through my mum. But I would wake up and she would be already working since like 4 a.m. and then she'd take us to school at like 8:30, pick us up at 3, then work till midnight.
Did you live near the salon?
Yeah, so we live in a small town.
Did you live above it, or am I
No, we do. There is an apartment above it that we had for a bit. But
Okay.
Yeah, but no, we live like 1 minute down the road. Like when my grandma was alive, we used to live next door to my grandma.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it was like she was my neighbor.
That's making it when you're able to do stuff like that.
Yeah, that was really cool.
So your mom was a grinder, and you told me before, but she retired recently, right?
Yeah, so she sold her salon, and she doesn't like the word retire because my mum always wants to work on something.
Yeah.
So we can't say
retired from the salon business.
Exactly,
Okay.
retired from the salon business, yeah. But she's passionate about working, and even though sorry, Mum, I know you're 60 something, I don't want to say it, but she wants to still make business. And she's like, I've got this idea, I want to start this. I'm like, wow, like that's inspiring.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, not no glazing, but you and Jarvis have it in you. I've seen how hard of a worker you are, and we're definitely gonna get to it because you've been on the internet for 14 probably years, almost 15 years, and I've seen you never stop working. So usually like Rug, I had a similar conversation with Rug. He's like, I get it from my dad, and like everyone, usually that's the case where there's someone that you learn that from.
Yeah,
So
yeah.